And she was afraid you confused her. She said it was her first football game ever. She said she leaned over and said, "What flag is he talking about?"
You fellas ready?
Sure.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's call court to order. Today is Tuesday, October the 29th, 2024. It's 9 a.m. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Thursday, October 24th, 2024 at 3:25 p.m.
Thank you. All right, at this time, let's stand for a moment of silence, and then we'll have the pledge to the flags.
Please join in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
our Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, if there's any members of the public who want to speak to the court on business matters, please do so at this time. All right, seeing none, I would like to go to under D, acceptance and let's see, excuse me just a minute. All right, at this time, I'd like to refer everyone to item F1. And I'd like to take this opportunity to do some recognition of someone that's been with us for many years. And we see his name all the time, but we really don't see him. We just see the reports. And so I think also, LaShonda, would you like y'all come up with Chuck? And so Chuck, you'll come forward. All right. Thank y'all. And let's take this on, if y'all would, just introduce yourselves to the court.
Good morning. Thank you all again for having us. I'm LaShonda Mallory Horn, Director of the Public Health District.
It's my boss. I'm Chuck Galabian. I've been with the Health District itself since '97. I've been with the city since '86. Wow. And in all that time, I can't really say I've worked a whole heck of a lot because I've always enjoyed what I've done. And there's an old saying that says, as long as a man enjoys what he's doing, he'll never really work at all.
That's right.
Good morning. My name is Teresa Wills. I'm the Environmental Health Manager.
All right, thank you. All right, so Chuck, this is a letter of recognition and an appreciation upon your retirement from the Commissioner's Court. And so, dear Chuck, on behalf of McLennan County Commissioner's Court, we would like to recognize and express appreciation for 38 years of dedication to our citizens of McLennan County. With the creation of the database program for OSSF and assisting inspectors with training through the years, you have enabled and enhanced McLennan County's growth, which has been a lot of it here lately, and you've seen that for sure. And your collaboration with TCEQ representatives, installers, engineering, designers, etc., has been an unparalleled benefit to the OSSF program.
Don't try and say it 6
Yeah.
times fast.
So we wish you the best in your retirement and express our deepest appreciation for the many years of service that you've given to the citizens of McLennan County. And this is a letter joined with me with Commissioner Jim Smith, Precinct 1, Commissioner Will Jones, Precinct 3, and Commissioner Ben Perry, Precinct 4. So let's give Chuck a round. All right. Anybody want to take pictures?
Picture time.
Go get your camera.
Get up there, Chuck.
Yeah, take your picture.
Oh, I gotta get out.
Front face that way, right there.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Appreciate it.
I'm retiring, not dying. If they need me, call me.
All right, let's get another picture.
All the commissioners.
Oh, yeah.
After the really good pictures,
Yeah.
what filter are you using?
Well, if it doesn't break.
Turn sideways a little bit more.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Keep
Good
it
to
going,
see
Chuck.
you.
Okay.
Been a while.
I know it. Don't be a stranger.
Good to see you.
Congratulations.
It's been a fun trip.
Well,
Good to see you.
the word you said, retirement, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I will. I'll be going from 3 jobs to 2. You live on a farm.
You gotta keep, yeah. I said, I'm saying, Judge, if you're gonna, you can own a dairy farm, or you could be up before dawn, or what was it? you
Yeah.
used to say?
Well, I said like a banker, don't,
Yeah.
you better not, be talking about foreclosure unless you're ready to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. All right, today, we will be going over a lot of department head reports. We do have some action items, besides the approval for, the, recognition of the reports, but, so I'd like to ask the department heads to hit the high points, that you feel are important. Also, it's a good opportunity for department heads to let the court know things that they need, and what they see, coming up, is any trends that, would be important to know from a commissioner's standpoint. So, this time, we will go, under D1 is juvenile probation monthly activity report. Mr. Cokers is not here, but he asked that if you have any questions about anything on his report, to give him a call. Is there anything that we want to talk to him about on this report, or do you have something you want to contact him directly? But, all right.
Motion to approve for recording purposes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right. Got my papers turned upside down here. Bear with me.
You're fine. D2 is engineering, and I know Shane's not gonna be in court either.
Right, did you miss my paper, Jeff?
No.
It should be on the back of that one. Yeah. No, you're not front and back, are you?
It's gonna be Monday all over again.
I know it. Okay, I got it. I got it. I don't know.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, under D2, Zane Dunham's report, he is at a conference, and said if anyone has any questions, there's a lot of activity here, you know. And a lot of it has to do with low water crossings and bridges and those things. And as we know, that's going to be something that we're going to be dealing with for the next several years. So if there are any questions about that, contact Zane, and if I can help in any way, let me know. Any questions anyone have? What's the pleasure of the court?
Quickly on Chapel Road, just a quick update. They are laying the water line in the city of Waco portion right now.
Okay,
So they should be getting pretty close down to Farm Miller Road. When at that time, the water line will go over and be in the right of way.
okay.
But the city is putting it in the middle of the road on their end of it, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, are you hearing anything from the folks that live up and down there? Any?
Ran into Ginger at breakfast this morning.
Oh.
Things are good for right now.
Really?
I keep telling them there's gonna be a
What was
point in
the,
time you're not gonna like us.
Yeah,
So we haven't hit it yet.
What was the reason behind locating it in the middle of the road for
I
the
think
city?
it's,
Just money, cost?
yeah, it was cost,
Okay.
yeah,
Cost when they start tearing it back up, when they have to work on the water line too.
yeah.
yes.
Well, so will this road eventually work to city ownership?
Yes,
So it'll be theirs on them, so,
but our portion will be in the right of way.
yeah.
Our portion for now. I don't know when they'll annex the
Sure.
rest of it.
They can't.
On Chapel?
They'd have to get a vote of the,
Have to be a voter. Yeah,
Citizen.
no forced annexation.
Correct. I'll be voting for it.
Amen.
Okay.
but I mean, who provides, who provides, I know there's, City of Waco provides the fire protection, or the city, Woodway. Who, is it the McLean County Sheriff's Office that does the,
Yes.
and we may be off topic here, but, the law enforcement out there?
On Chapel Road,
Uh-huh.
once you get past the high fence place,
Yeah,
it's pretty much where we pick up.
yeah,
Going towards Old Lorena Road.
yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I spoke to a certain cantankerous citizen out there, and he kind of gave me the business about how he had to drive way out of his way. And,
Hamilton. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
But it is what it is, and it'll only last until January of '26, right?
If anybody else gets hit up by that again, part of the deal with, after everything's said and done, Hamilton gets repaved.
Okay.
So that's part of the deal to make it somewhat.
And I stepped into it. I mean, I knew he lived out there, and I asked him.
How's it going?
Yeah, and he.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
Yeah, I was like, never again.
I always tell them it's, fixing these roads is like knee replacement. It's gonna hurt like hell for a while.
Yeah.
But hopefully at the end, you'll have a good,
Exactly. And it will be. It's gonna be a really nice project. But anyway, I just wanted to update on that.
yeah, thank you. Any other projects anyone wants to mention? All right, and then, of course, engineering's got fully staffed now, I think, so, I'll be seeing a lot of them out and about.
I'd make a motion to approve D2 for
Second.
reporting purposes.
All right, we have a motion, second, any discussion? No other discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, pass. Under D3, the Veteran Service Officer Report by Steve Hernandez. Steve? Morning.
Morning, gentlemen. I got you a copy of the report, which, is our federal mandate that we do for claims. But I really kind of wanted to address some community trends that we're kind of seeing right now that we hadn't seen before in our office. And one of them is the suicide continues to be a problem with some community members, in that it's now a post-combat issue where it's not necessarily just a mental injury or a injury that is a remembrance of what has been experienced. It's now becoming more of a pain issue. We're having veterans that are coming in with potential suicide ideation over the fact that they just can't be relieved from the pain. I know that there's the opioid usage is down, so I think there's some alternative holistic approaches that are being talked about, but it still has kind of presented itself as a problem because, you know, we're not clinicians, we're not professionals, but yet we have a trusting relationship. And so when we get those kind of conversations, we try to make sure that we don't mess up and end up having a tragedy. But that's been the trend that we're kind of seeing. And for me, a trend is more than 3 people in a given period, because we don't, like I say, we don't necessarily handle those type of situations, but when they come to us, we definitely not gonna not handle them. The other thing is we're having a little bit of I guess a little bit of an issue with third-party involvement with home healthcare agencies that are coming in and they're utilizing their services in a way that kind of puts the veteran or the dependent or the spouse in a disadvantage, in that they're showing that, because the way the VA acknowledges aid and attendance, special monthly benefits for staying at home or for getting assistance for the need for somebody to have the assistance in activities of daily living. These third parties are coming in and they're presenting themselves as a agency that is assisting the veteran, and they actually give them a 90-day envelope that they are able to submit to the VA, showing that they're already assisting them. And what puts us at a disadvantage is that the VA goes on actuals and not projections. So because they go on actuals, we have a veteran that comes in that has not been spending the money but needs the aid and attendance. And so therefore, it is their benefit. So we try to address that, but because they haven't spent the money, we can't present it as an expense because it hasn't occurred. Whereas these third parties come in and they do show that expense is occurring, but they're giving them a 90-day envelope. And so once it gets approved, they get their back pay. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. The problem is they're actually taking the full amount when it should be the veteran's benefit, and they're actually using that and paying a CNA or a part-time individual and then keeping the rest of that money. So it's kind of a little bit of a disadvantage. And so we're trying to figure out a way how we can eliminate that in a way that we understand their business and we understand they got to make money. But we just kind of want to make sure that they're not deceptively trying, and I hate to use that word. We just want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can in our office to make sure that they're following everything that we feel like is in the veteran's best interest. And that's kind of the challenge that we're kind of having on that, because it seems like we got a lot more coming in. And because they're able to do that, they're able to walk right in and assist the veteran from day one or their spouse. And then from there, they wait the 90 days, they submit the paperwork, they get approved, and then they just get whatever they had outstanding, they get paid, because it takes about 90 days to get approved. And like I said, it's a little bit of a challenge because a veteran doesn't have that ability. They don't have the ability to pay up front and then submit to the VA. And so that's kind of where we're at on that. But the other thing, we did establish a banner program with the Veterans One, through the Veterans One Stop. They've taken the lead. And we're doing with the city of Waco, we're actually going to have banners down. We're hoping to have them all set up before Veterans Day. And what the city of Waco has done, they're allowing us to have veteran pictures of any veteran that anyone wants to put in and have on the street lights. And it's going to be more or less a banner that they're going to stay up for a certain amount of time so that everybody can kind of see who's.
Recognizing.
Yes, sir.
And who's paying for, the individuals are paying for the
Yes, sir. The
banner?
individual, it's $150, I'm sorry. And we're trying to get sponsors also.
Okay.
But yes, and it's for anyone. They don't have to be deceased, they can be alive. So, but yeah, we're in the process of doing that now. We got to make, I think, about 18. And then we have a VA event from central office in Washington DC. They're coming down. We were selected, and they're going to do a 3-day event. 2 are going to be at the convention center, and then 1 is going to be at the One Stop. And what they're trying to do is get just a little bit more involved with the claim process, and also just some awareness of other benefits that the VA offers that they just want to present to the community here. And so we're pretty honored to be selected to have that done here. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be November 19th, 20th, and 21st. And the One Stop will be there on the 20th. Well, they'll come to the One Stop on the 21st.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of planning on that. And then I think as far as, and of course, the homeless project, we still have the homeless project on campus, as well as Mr. Dorrell's homeless project. We're trying to strategically get because some of the problems that we're encountering is we do have veterans who unfortunately, because of their conduct discharges, they're not necessarily eligible for federal benefits, but they're still considered veterans. And so we're trying to figure out a way that we can kind of use the community resources and still have them off the streets and still get acclimated back into society where we can still help the best we can without the federal benefits that they're not getting. So we're working on that too. And outside from all the typical claims that we get, that's kind of where we're at. But the trend is those 2 are the ones I kind of wanted to point out to y'all.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you think the issue with the third-party home health care deal has a lot to do with the federal legislation that passed some time ago, because the VA was so slow to react to veterans' needs that they said we need to let them go to third party to straight to a non-veterans doctor or these services like?
I think they've always been out there, but they've never really kind of, I guess, been so much in competition like they are now.
Yeah.
Because we're getting a saturation, more or less, of a lot of home health care agencies. But they've always kind of been out there. Like I said, we've always not necessarily discouraged, because we're not here to pick and choose. But at the same time, we kind of want the veteran to be aware of where the differences are,
Yeah.
and what they're actually pursuing, or what they feel like they're getting in their best interest. And that's, but as far as the legislation, no, we were actually talking to possibly see if there's a way that we can stop. The problem that we're having is the actuals versus the projections. See, they can do the projections, but yes, they put them down as an actual when they present it to the VA. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We have to actually show that they're actually paying that, and that's where we're at a disadvantage. But it's
So even though they don't actually do the work, they get paid the full amount, is what you're saying? Because they present what we may do
they're
and get paid for what we may do, and only do a portion of that sometimes.
I without really getting too directly involved in all that, I can't say that they're not doing it, not all of them.
But you have
But I
to
do
know.
know that there is some that they do get the full benefit, without getting the worksheet and seeing exactly how they compute that. They are getting the full benefit, but yet they're giving the veteran with a individual that kind of comes in and takes care of them, say 8 hours, when if you really calculate it, and they could have a lot more than that as assistants. So, but there again, I don't know what the background consists
know,
of.
yeah,
If they have a licensed doctor on staff, or a nurse, or somebody following up, a dietitian. I mean, I just don't know other than that's kind of the complaint that we're getting, is that they're not necessarily getting the full use of their benefit. So we're kind of looking into that.
Okay.
So I don't know if it ain't gonna hit the paper yet. No.
Okay, any other questions, Steve? All right, is there a motion to approve the report for recording purposes?
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes.
All right, let's go to item D4, maintenance of equipment. Monthly activity report, this is from July through October 2024. Yes, sir.
Morning, Judge.
Captain here.
Hey, Captain.
Morning, Commissioner. So our report for July through October of 2024. Radio shop, jail repairs, we had 43 work orders, 92 labor hours involved. Radio repairs and tower project, we had 75 work orders, 96.5 labor hours involved. Equipment install, removal, and repair, we had 74 work hours with 1,114 labor hours involved. And then special projects, 63 work orders with 172.5 labor hours involved. In the sign shop, during the month of July, we had 4 sign orders for 14 signs for 3 departments. August, 5 sign orders, 36 signs for 4 departments. September, we had none. Tan was out of the country on 3 weeks vacation during September, so that's why our numbers are lower there. October, 3 sign orders, 51 signs for 2 departments. Vehicle maintenance in July, we did maintenance for 6 county departments, 87 work orders, 11 state inspections, with $26,465.07 in outside repair costs. Now, though, keep in mind, that does include body work and vehicle damage that we do. In August, we did work for 5 county departments, 112 work orders, 10 state inspections, $11,000 in outside repair costs. September, again, Tan was out of town, so we did work for 6 county departments, 35 work orders, 4 state inspections, and $24,565 in outside repair costs. For the month of September, some of those outside repair costs were oil changes, tire repairs, and stuff that we did outside our shop because Tan was out of the country for 3 weeks, and we have to keep
So when you're
those.
saying outside work orders, you're saying you're sending it to another
Sending it
vendor?
to an outside vendor, yes, sir.
So is a lot of that body work done outside?
Yes, sir. All the body work and paint repair is done outside,
what I thought.
but this particular month included oil changes and tire repairs that were outside since we didn't have a mechanic in the shop.
Yeah, okay.
And then in October, 6 county departments, 89 work orders, 17 state inspections, and $16,500 in outside repair costs. And that kind of covers that quarter. One thing I'd like to bring up is I believe in the future, possibly, the next budget year, we're probably looking at wanting to add a mechanic. One, that would help when we do have one on vacation, we still have someone working. But we went to 1 mechanic when we moved from 20th and Mary to 7th and Washington, from 3 mechanics. And the county fleet has grown substantially since then. So Tan is just constantly covered up,
Yeah.
So it would really, I think, help us. And then also, Tan is looking at retiring in the next few years. So we need somebody in place when that happens.
You're looking at the increased cost, and you can almost pay for a mechanic with the increase
sir.
in outside
Yes, sir.
maintenance.
Absolutely.
Repairs, so.
So just something to be looking for over the next year, or next year's budget.
And in mechanical wise, anything specific? I know you mentioned before transmissions, so that, I'm assuming that's still an issue.
Well, we haven't had as much trouble with the Tahoes on this newest model that's come out over the past 2 or 3 years. And we're starting to get our fleet numbers where our mileage is more manageable than it was before.
Yeah,
So we're starting to lower that cost.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Do we use trustee labor on any of these? Like,
Yes, sir. So the trustees, Tan is also a jailer, so he manages 3 trustees. They help us with the sign shop, they help us with oil changes, they help us with tire repair, and they do all of our vehicle washing.
yeah, okay, good.
Yes, sir.
But if he's not there, then,
That we have to have him there to supervise, one, to supervise them, but also to supervise the work they're doing and to check everything they're doing.
Okay. Any questions? All right, what's the pleasure, of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right. Under D5, purchasing, monthly activity report, August to October. Ken Bass.
Morning.
Morning.
Of course, this is that time of year when we're very busy closing down the old year and opening up a new year, and we stay very busy doing that. Just want to point out, in this last quarter, August to October, we processed around 2,240 purchase orders. That's a pretty high number when we were averaging yearly about 6,000. In conjunction with what engineering's report says, we have 3 bids out right now that all have to do with ARPA funding. We've got the Old Springfield Road water system improvements. We have that out. We have HVAC renovations that we intended to use ARPA funds for. As a matter of fact, we have a pre-bid on that tomorrow. And then we have Fern Valley Road low water crossing. A big item that we've been working on for quite a while, and the precincts are well aware, we're changing our uniform contract from UniFirst to Centos, and I think we're very close to having the new uniforms in to outfit our employees. UniFirst agreed to stay in providing uniforms until we had uniforms from Centos, so that's working smoothly, I believe. We hired a new buyer, so purchasing is fully staffed now, though we have a lot of training to do. Basically, having 2 newer employees, we have a lot of training to accomplish. Then, of course, I submitted to the court this past quarter revised purchasing policies and procedures. On cellular services, we had kind of lost contact with some of our representative from AT&T and our representative.
Couldn't get them
from
on the phone?
We finally did. It was hard to locate one,
I'll be darned.
but we're doing a lot of work with AT&T right now. Well, actually with Verizon, I'm sorry. We're replacing a lot of phones for the Sheriff's Department so that it needed to be newer phones to work with the system that they're implementing right now to write tickets and that sort of thing. So I think we just got in 9 new phones just this past week.
So you're switching from,
An older,
no, but I'm talking about the service.
oh no, I'm sorry, the service is still with Verizon, but we're using,
Went from 4G to 5G?
yes, yes. And other than that, we have a number of bids, and again, engineering referenced it in his reports, but a lot of potential bids working in the background, waiting on documentation to put out. And I listed just a few, but, you know, we have the JP5 edition that I know plans are still being worked on. And then we have the ADA for the records building that I think we're pretty close to the plans on that. And then just a few bids. And I know we're looking at South Old Bruceville Road, trying to get that going. I'm not sure that's going to have the documents that we need to get that done using ARPA funds.
We're pushing it.
We're pushing it, yeah. And that's pretty much my report, unless you
Okay.
got something
Any
else.
questions for Ken?
One question. What is, or who is Smart Procure?
It is one of those companies that's just delving into what our purchase orders. They probably sell the information to somebody, but they ask quarterly for our,
Disseminate them and then
Yeah.
yeah.
they make
Share the
money off,
pricing.
make money off selling what we buy to companies that may want to get it on the process.
Looking at the pricing,
Yeah, okay.
averages and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion that we approve Ken's report for recording purposes.
Second?
Yep.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right, under D6, maintenance of buildings, quarterly activity report for October. TJ?
Good morning, everyone. So this is our standard report that we do every quarter.
TJ, we can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me
You're on
now?
mute.
No, no.
Yeah, we can hear him through Zoom.
Okay.
How about now?
All right, I'm looking at John Carter, and he's turning his head the other way.
Tea party?
Hey, TJ, I'll tell you what, we'll
Yeah.
come back to you.
Okay.
All right? Okay, put him on standby. Next report is under D7, pretrial services. This is a report that Virgil sent in. Same, it's just updating all the different categories that they monitor. And if there's any questions, I'm not sure he'll be in today or not. But is there any questions anyone have? If we can hold it, or
Motion to approve.
Motion for second.
I have a motion and a second to approve for recording purposes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right, going to item D8, health services, monthly activity report from July through September. Heather?
Morning.
Good morning.
So as I'm kind of looking through the report, we've continued to stay active in our community obligations, our committee obligations. We've, the number of kind of health fair focused events that we normally participate in annually has decreased since, right after COVID, there was a big boom and then it's decreased. So we've actually started participating in some classes, like financial health classes, just different classes that are being offered by Goodwill and the health department. So it gives us still an opportunity to go in and speak to a population of people that we might otherwise not reach. As far as our numbers, we finished the year about the same as the previous year. Our numbers held steady through the second through fourth quarters with our county indigent program. Our financial hasn't wrapped up yet. I think we'll still continue to process claims through the end of November. That'll be posted to the last fiscal year. But we should still come in right under budget, so we'll be fine in that department. Our pauper program ended significantly different than prior years. And I think that's the majority of it. One of the big things that we focused on this last quarter was, the end of it was working with Ken and the JPs as we transitioned to the new contract with Central Texas Mortuary, and that, we did some work on the front end to ensure that that was a smooth transition. Ken did a great job of setting up a meeting. We all met out at the mortuary with the JPs, and almost everybody showed up, and we, so far, it's been a really smooth transition. Everyone's working together well, hearing
Good.
great reports and feedback on that.
Unlike prior to that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest complaint I've heard so far is the spreadsheet's too small, but once I told Judge Richardson just to hit the plus button and it would blow up, well, then all of our problems were solved.
Even I would know that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a good transition, so.
Okay, one of the things I noticed in your report is how many activities you're in. I hope you have time to come to the office and work.
Yeah, well, I've missed a couple. I think I missed the health district, but that's okay because you covered me.
He's great for that.
Teamwork.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So even when there's a conflict, I usually send a representative from the office just to make sure that, I get all the information I can from the meeting. So, and then the PACES project is coming up. That advisory committee that I'll be participating in starts on Thursday
Okay.
of this week.
Yeah.
Mhm. I know that you're on the task force for that, so.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see what kind of information they collect and
Yeah.
where that takes us.
yeah,
I'll be on that call also, too.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll be on it and, yeah, it's all about access to care and all the way across the medical, mental health, the whole deal. And, you know, how we stand up, what are the hurdles that consumers have to have access to care. And it could be a lot of different things, but a lot of it is the amount of funding that comes into our community to support these different things. And in many areas, the hospitals are struggling and, you know, where they used to be, do a lot of charity work. When they're not making money, it's hard for them to do that. And so anyhow, it's going to be an interesting endeavor.
So, you know, many red states through Section 115 waivers to operate their Medicaid expansion programs in ways not otherwise allowed under federal law have expanded Medicaid.
Yeah,
And that includes Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. I mean,
southern state, yeah.
no,
That's
not. I mean, that's just our neighbors.
Yeah,
There's other red states, Ohio, Kansas, places like that that have done this. And so Texas continues to consistently be last in mental health. We know that for certain.
yeah.
And in many categories, we're last in healthcare. And why should the most prosperous state in the nation be last? And, you know, what are we going to do to, and where we're last, a lot of places is rural and regional areas like Waco and McLennan County. And what happens is the burden is shifted to the taxpayer.
Yeah.
And because of that, we have some of the highest property taxes in the United States. We're 12th. So it's up to our state legislature to figure out some sort of plan and get off their, you know what?
Dead center.
Yeah, get off their dead center and do something about that.
But I think on a federal level too,
Well, here's, but I hate to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
On the federal level.
My wife does it all the time, go ahead.
On the federal level, they are more than willing to help us. The federal government has proven time and time again that it is not going to shut off the printing press.
No question about that.
And I don't believe in my lifetime, and maybe even in my children's lifetime, that that's going to change. So I'm not sure why our current leadership feels like that we should not benefit from these federal programs.
Agree. But I think there could be some modification on the Affordable Care Act that could happen in the future. that
Right,
maybe-
and I'm looking forward to that very much.
Yeah. Depends on what happens.
With Tuesday,
November the
next,
6th.
a week from today.
Yeah.
Well put, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you know, I just learned recently that FQHC receives 10 times Medicaid reimbursement rate versus a private or public hospital, and I didn't know that. So like Waco Family Medicine, for instance, receives 10 times the Medicaid rate that, now from us, the indigent healthcare program folks that we serve that are also Waco Family Medicine clients, we're paying Medicaid rate, not 10 times Medicaid rate, because that's how the county indigent healthcare program works.
Right.
But if they're billing a Medicaid patient, normal Medicaid, it's 10 times, so that's over $300 for a basic office visit. And our hospitals and other clinics aren't receiving that type of reimbursement. So that's a perk for a benefit for an
Right.
FQHC.
And that's the
Medicaid.
type of program that we really need to take advantage of and would ultimately take the burden off property taxpayers.
Yeah, exactly.
But in some ways, it silos where our clients are receiving care
Well,
to a degree.
and then my question to you is, they've got this big brand-new building over there that we help pay for with our ARPA funds. Do you have any presence in that building whatsoever?
No, and they do not intend for us to.
Well, that's disappointing.
That's been asked recently, and the response on 2 separate occasions was no.
With what level of leadership was that requested from?
Not myself or anyone on this court that I'm aware of. It was in community conversations that were relayed back to me. I know Commissioner Miller, that was one of the things that she really advocated for, was our presence in that office.
Well, we
And
can.
that had
we-
been a
we need to-
partnership
we
in the
need to talk to
past as
Jackson
well.
about that.
So if you were in that office, well, we can talk about this later, but we need to talk about exactly what we would do if we had an office there. How could it improve access to care or all these other our reimbursement side or what we provide? But we need to talk about how that would benefit the community by us being in there. Because I need to know that before we go ask, so. Okay. Any other questions or comments for Heather? All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve for recording purposes.
Second.
All right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is D9, Information Technology Monthly Activity Report. John Carter.
Joe, we're asking for a 15-minute recess to try to handle a technical issue. Do you mind doing that?
Okay.
Is that the technical issue?
Maybe not.
Well,
Maybe not now.
That's online. It's fine, I think so.
so it's okay?
As long as no one else is going to Zoom, we're good.
Okay. All right, TJ, welcome to the court. Glad to see you. Figment of our imagination, you're actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to.
So I don't have anything special to report, like Ken was
No,
saying.
no.
Oh, come on.
We've gone to a lot of trouble.
I ran all the way over here.
All right, this is under D6, Maintenance of Buildings, TJ Jackson. All right, TJ.
So no, a typical report, everything is going well right now. Update on roofing projects, we're about 98% complete with the hail damage roof replacements. Highway 6 is about 80% complete, so those are moving along really well. We've got the bid walk tomorrow for the ARPA stuff, so that's our biggest project we're looking forward to this year. And that's about it. Everything else is going pretty good.
So I know we have, you probably know what I'm fixing to bring up, but I know we have contracts with these vendors for maintenance and inspection of our elevators.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an inspection done at the Extraco Event Center on, I guess, although sometime right before the fair, and I guess it showed to be okay. And then the
Right.
elevator didn't work for almost half the fair.
Yeah.
Which is caused us a big ADA issue and mad tempers and
Yeah.
all
yeah.
those kind of things. And so, do you know exactly what went wrong? Do you know what caused the problem?
No, so there's really no way to say what caused the issue itself. It was just an equipment failure. A relay in the switchboard is what went out. Now, of course, that equipment's 25, almost 30 years old now.
So that's the problem.
So just age of the equipment could very well be the case, or, you know, it could have been some dust involved. It could have been something that needed to be cleaned out. Very minor piece. We actually had one here at the courthouse. We stole it, took it over there and got the elevator up and going. And then the new part will arrive on Thursday to fix this one. So it's just having that equipment available in time.
It's my understanding that in the environment of the operating system, it's very hot and dusty. So if that's the cause of it, we need to make sure we fix that.
We'll ask, but usually it's nothing heat related. I mean,
Okay.
because all of our elevator machine rooms are the same. There's
Well,
no
it was-
cooling, nothing. It's,
And that came from Wes, who had talked to his folks. It
Yeah.
says, this needs to change. And so,
yeah, typically that's not the case, but we can definitely look into it.
yeah, let's look into it.
Is it a part that has a history of going out this particular part? And if so, can we order a backup if we know we're going to continue to use it, just to have a spare part on?
Right, we'll have a backup of this particular part going forward.
Okay.
But there's really
No way to know that.
Yeah, no way to know. I mean, you'd have to keep a stock of 2,000 different
Right,
parts
I understand.
in order to have everything that you need at any given time, so. It's just a failure. It's gonna happen from time to time. We just have to try to get in front of them best we can.
So does the inspection, the group that does the inspection, do they do repairs as well?
They do, uh-huh, yes, sir.
I just, it befuddles me why it took so long.
Yeah, it's just the part, and that particular part, we ordered it that Friday night whenever it went out, and it's not scheduled to hit their office until this Thursday. So it's just a long lead time. It's coming from overseas.
Yeah, parts are
There
hard
you
to
go.
get sometimes.
There you go.
Overseas and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, any questions for TJ?
Which elevator went out?
It's the one going up on the,
Back porch.
Lake Air side of the Back Porch Club,
Oh,
but
that one?
it's our ADA, one of the ADA. The other one is on the far end, and it's
Right.
not close to the parking lot. It's at the furthest end.
So the Back Porch Club elevator
Was out.
was out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if someone comes in, has a, disability issue, even though,
Could they even get to the Back Porch Club?
oh, yeah. Yep. Right at the, I call it the back of the Coliseum, but on the Lake Air side, the northwest end is where you enter there.
Right.
So they would bring them down there to come in.
But I thought you said that elevator was out.
It was.
Okay, so there's another elevator
At the other end, it's
On
not
the-
handed to the parking lot.
on the south,
Bosque end?
It's
on
on
the
the
south.
southeast end.
so they'd have to walk from the
That's the
southeast
Bosque-
end all the way.
Bosque-
Yeah.
The Bosque side of the building. It's the
Bosque-
one we put in about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember putting that one
Bosque
in.
Tower side.
But can you get from the Bosque elevator to the Back Porch Club?
Yeah, you just, you go up and then you'd walk on, you'd have to,
Walk through on the concourse?
Take the concourse around, the upper level concourse.
right. But they,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was quite a big
yeah.
inconvenience.
Okay, anything else? All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve for recording purposes.
Second.
Might have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the trot over here.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, John.
Okay, while John's coming up, my question, John, was a comment you made. If anybody wants to Zoom, they can't Zoom right now?
Correct, we're having, well, they can zoom in and obviously be seen, but the sound is not working and we don't know why.
But a citizen wanting to view this,
Can still view it, sorry.
they'll be, okay.
On YouTube.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
It's the people who are on Zoom cannot be heard. Everybody in here can be heard by anybody.
People that are suddenly showing up, you mean?
Yes.
If I remember correctly, we had a viewership of about 4.5
Yeah.
at our peak.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yes.
All right, pitch till you win.
John Carter, IT Director. So our Q4, FY '24 Q4 report, I won't go through all of it, I promise.
Thank you.
So to highlight some trends, most of our help desk, website, all that sort of thing are following very closely with other quarters, so there's nothing to report there. The projects are really ramping up, due, I think, to two things. One is we now have a very organized project management office, and we have better tracking of our projects, so we know that which projects we have, how they are, where they are in the process, and which ones have been completed. So just to highlight there on the Q3, Q4 numbers, Q3, we had 6 projects started during that quarter and 12 completed. As you can see, that jumped up quite a bit in Q4 to 20 projects started and completed. That's a 283% jump in the started ones and 67% in the completed projects. Again, I think due to our new project management office being so organized, because it's also streamlining the actual completion of those projects. The next thing to note really is we've been looking at trends by type of project we have. And where you look at the projects by type there, the most projects we have are in the AV and infrastructure realm right now. So that's where we're looking at putting probably future budget items. As we did in this budget, as you know, we had 5 in the capital, 5 AV projects in our capital budget. What follows is just a list of the projects. I won't bore you with that. The next item I would like to highlight is in our help desk, we always break it down both by department and by type of help desk tickets. Most of our support is coming from the VPN or virtual private networking, where people are trying to access, employees are trying to access our network from external. User support, of course, because we always have a lot of comings and goings and people changing positions and such. And then EDOC right now, of course, remains high. Those are very typical, so there's nothing really of note there other than those are our commonly most common types. And as far as departments using our services, the highest usually is the jail, of course, because that's the most people and the most things going on. IT, because often people just call us instead of entering a ticket, so we're actually entering the ticket for them. HR, of course, because, again, a lot of employee-type things we deal with. DA, SO, CSCD, those are the higher ones. But again, that's consistent quarter to quarter, year to year so far. Moving along, I'll talk really quickly about accessibility. So we have remained in 90 to 100%, which is considered accessible compliant. And that note you see there that McLennan County remains in the top 10 of 370 plus clients that Civic Plus has with a 90% or higher accessibility score. That's actually literally in the top 10. We're in the top 10 companies that they deal with. So we're very proud of our accessibility here for our website, and Jaquinta and her team stay on top of that for us.
Good. Congratulations.
Yes. The cybersecurity awareness training, that remains, so this is last year's report. Every year it runs from November to August, and by the end of August or middle of August, you have to have at least 90%. As you can see, the 3 up there of the 3 categories, we reached 98% of employees who completed the training. So you have to have at least 90%. Obviously, we aim for 100% because it's not just about compliance, it's about safety. And we will continue, of course. So this will be reset and start a new year now in November. And then I did a little bit on the last set here in IT of yearly ticket comparison because we're starting to now track our tickets yearly and monthly and quarterly. And as you can see there, it jumped a little bit in FY23 and then back down in FY24. We believe the FY24 number is lower because it just wasn't, because we switched systems in the middle, well, in the beginning of FY24, so we believe that number is probably not accurate. Just wanted to highlight that for everyone. Obviously, next year when we have another full year, we'll know for sure how that's actually trending. Moving on to the archives department. The InfoLinks project, you may remember that we had asked for a records clerk, and you all put in a $1 placeholder asking for more information and more data. We're not ready yet, I would say, to come back to you, so we're gonna go at least another quarter, maybe 2, getting more data and making sure that we have something that we can present to you that shows a clear need there. Well, what you can see here in this data, you'll see that on July 31st, they had scanned in 184,200 files, and this is what the records clerk would do is this InfoLinks project, by the way. And by August 31st, they had scanned in 186,485, getting about another 2,000 or so. And then by September 30th, they had scanned in 190,606. And I say scanned in, it really means indexed in the system, not literally scanned in. I keep mispronouncing.
Now we're talking about cumulative.
Cumulative, right, that's
For
just a
month-
cumulative number.
Cumulative number.
So those are per month,
So they're
obviously.
running about 4,000 something or
Yeah,
2 to.
little over 4,000
Something,
in
yeah,
September.
that month, yeah.
2,000 in July or August, and I should have put the previous number in. But what that's telling us is they have 3 folks over there who are doing it in their spare time, quote unquote. So we want to gain those numbers over probably another 6 months and then come back to you with that request or not, depending on what we think that'll do for us. And then the other thing, the last thing I'll highlight with the archives is the space available, which has been asked before. We're starting to track that now, and right now we have a year's worth of numbers. And over this year, we've gone from 8,239 linear feet available, that's open space on the shelves, to 8,971 linear feet. That's a net of 732 linear feet that we have gained back, or 8.9% that we have gained back. So obviously, we're on a good trend there. You always want to gain space if you can. And that's also, right now, that's also at a loss of some number of linear feet. We don't know exactly how much, but for those offices we built out, we had to remove some shelving. So this number is probably actually a little bit higher. My guess is right around 1,000 linear feet. We will give you that number, obviously, when they move into that space, and then we renovate the space that they're in now. For offices, we can talk about that.
At the rate the utilization rate, how many years does that give us where the archives building is adequate?
We don't know the utilization rate quite yet. We're still tracking that number. I think it's 2 quarters now we've tracked that. We don't have enough data to really give you an accurate estimation right now. But after another 2 quarters, I'd say after a year, we'll have a good running rate for you. Because I assume what you're talking about is how much they're putting in, right? How many files, how many boxes?
Well, I'm saying when we have no more room, we need to be very predictive of determining what that date is, because we've got 10 or $15 million invested in that building there, and you either have to find a new place or additional place, and we need to be thinking about that, because we'd want to sell
Yes.
bonds way out in front of it, and
We need a big lead time as far as.
big lead time.
As far as.
Yes. Well, the reason we can't predict, the reason we don't feel like we can predict right now is last year was a heavy year for court usage, right? The DA was catching up, and we had probably more cases than was normal for us.
Right.
So we want to start, if we get a year's worth of data, we feel like we're at a good point to start giving you a good estimate.
Yeah, relative to the prior years.
Correct.
Yeah,
And we had pandemic years before that, because obviously it was probably much lower.
yeah.
But we will track that for you.
You understand the court's interest in that.
Yes, absolutely.
And also the space available, if it continues to trend upward, that's a plus for,
Yes.
that's something we want to see continue then.
So that's that's part of what the projects are about, is being able to scan in documents. As you may or may not remember, we're scanning in the DA files right now. I believe it's 2002 and 2003, if I'm not mistaken, we're doing at the moment. And we have to get up to, I believe it's 2015. I'm going to be wrong about that as soon as I mention a year, but we have a few years. And this year, we're actually doing 2 years instead of 1 year. We typically do 1 year every year of scanning in. Plus, we're doing all the current ones as they go, so it will catch up at some point. So we're doing 2 years this year as opposed to 1. So we want to see how much that also drops down the volume. And just 2 quick things I'd mention. We had our archives offices were built out. They are finished now as far as maintenance of buildings is concerned. We have another item coming before court today, actually, to get the wiring approved, so we can get the wiring in so they can actually move into those offices. We are also ordering furniture, so that actually will move this move-in date probably either late November or possibly early December before they can actually move into those offices.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank Maintenance of Buildings and Purchasing for helping us out with all that sort of thing. They've really been great. And the second thing is, one of the challenges I highlighted there was having 3 openings. Well, those are all filled now. We have 2 folks already started, and we have 1 person coming on November 4th. And for that, I'd like to thank HR. They were fantastic, and especially David. Sorry, Anna. Anna, of course, the head of the department. However, David over there has been our guy, our IT person, and he was just always on it and getting the job done, and I'm really very happy with the service we've gotten there. And I think that's it, unless you have questions.
We still use third-party vendor for penetration testing, social engineering testing, John, and how, are we happy with how that's working out?
Yes, we use KnowBe4 for our phishing testing and our campaigns where we test our own employees.
Right.
And then we used, it was actually in the budget, we haven't done it yet, but we have a third-party, Birch Klein, who's going to do our penetration tests.
Penetration or firewall?
We wanted to get past the first of the year. We've got a lot of things, again, early on in this year, projects going on, so we wanted to wait until after the first of the year to do that testing.
Thank you.
And to get our new security person who starts on November 4th and get their feet wet.
Let them get, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Move to approve IT report for recording.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any other discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. I'd like to jump to items D11. D11, have Judge Swanton come forward.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, notwithstanding today's Zoom technology issues, I just want to tell you how helpful John's department always is to our departments, especially somebody who is as technology inefficient as I am. So
I understand.
I think you all have our detailed reports in front of you, so I'll just try to hit the highlights. So beginning this summer, we've had a total of 4 graduations, 2 for mental health court that has resulted in a total of 5 graduates in our mental health court program, which has also resulted in, 8 charges being dismissed and expunged for those participants, which brings us now to about 20 graduates since the inception of the mental health court program. The Veterans Court had graduation on July 17th. We had 3 graduates there with 2 charges dismissed and expunged, and that now brings us to 23 graduates for that program. And then the Recovery Court, formerly known as DWI Drug Court, had 4 graduates in September, and that program has now had 174 graduates since the inception of that program.
Great.
So I think Amy attached a lot of the testimonials from some of the graduates.
They're
If you
great.
read those, they really are. They're kind of emotional. And I would encourage you all, I know that some of you have attended graduations in the past. Those are pretty emotional things if you get a chance to come to those. We have decided to combine all 3 courts into quarterly graduations instead of trying to prepare for each graduation for each individual court. And we thought it was actually kind of helpful to have some of the folks come and hear all the graduates from the different programs, especially Veterans Court. So we're going to start doing that on a quarterly basis for a combination of all the courts. I wanted to recognize Belinda Honey. She is our peer specialist who works in the Recovery Court. She was honored as the Texas Peer Support Specialist of the Year at the Texas Association of Addiction Professional Conference. We're really proud of her. She does fantastic work as a peer support person for that court, and everybody really appreciates her abilities in that regard.
Great.
Amy Lowry.
Do you mind sending me an email on that?
I'll sure do so, Judge.
Yeah, details on that. Thank you.
I will do so. Amy Lowry continues to be very effective in acquiring grants and renewing grants for all 3 programs. I wanted to just take a moment to thank the commissioners and the court for the addition of a full-time assistant for Amy. She really needed that person, and I think she'll even be more efficient in being able to work in all 3 courts. She just stays busy all the time.
Yes.
And, I get emails from her at 10:30 at night on a Saturday, so I know she's working all the time.
You got a lot of passion.
Yeah, she's really, really great. Our Mental Health Court Services Department, as you all know, stays busy every single day with emergency detention orders and that sort of thing. Shayla Wilyoung runs that department, and she just really knows her stuff. I mean, she came from Oceans Hospital, and so she was kind of familiar with the law, but she's very good. As you know, she has been instrumental in starting what's called the Mental Health Court Coalition meetings that we have once a month on Fridays. I think we have another one set for this Friday morning, and that has I think the Sheriff's Department can attest to how helpful that has been. We have law enforcement that attends those meetings, and various health care providers attend those meetings. We just kind of talk through problems that everybody's having and try to become more efficient as a cohesive group. So Shayla's done a great job with that. We are adding 3 lawyers to our managed assigned counsel program, maybe 4. And that's difficult to convince local lawyers to do that simply because it requires a little extra training. They get paid a little bit more for the work they do, but it requires them to have some specialized training. I think
Absolutely.
6 to 8 hours that they have to have of mental health court training. So we're adding some lawyers to that. We lost Melanie. She went to work at the Public Defender's Office for the federal government. She was great, but we're adding some other folks. Wanted to thank Dustin. He got us a new space. We took over a conference room in the law library for, this is especially helpful now that we have another person coming in to work for us. Dustin knows that was kind of a long process because we work with the McLennan County Bar Association, and there's nothing worse than trying to get 5 lawyers to agree to do something. So, but they did, and they were very helpful, and Dustin was extremely helpful in that. So I think that's about it, except for, and not.
Trying to get 1 lawyer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not to get political, but if I could just add a hearty amen to Commissioner Jones's comments about the Medicare and funding for mental health and addiction issues, that is a constant problem, especially for our state. So I think that's all I have, Judge.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We just hear a lot of good things coming out of your area, and I think that we set ourselves apart from a lot of counties that could do the same thing
I
by
completely
really
agree.
scoping in on mental health. And it's going to be so many challenges, but we're better off than most folks are, and we're finding, we're constantly searching for grant dollars to help us do this, to bring in money outside of there's a special burden put on our taxpayers here that maybe not on other smaller counties, especially where we treat a lot of their folks. Either that they come into our community or they're housed at our jail.
That's the whole regional, that's the whole regional problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as you know, Judge, the financial support that the county and this court has committed to that area is so important, and frankly, the emotional support that you all provide.
Right.
I mean, recognizing the importance of those issues. So
That's the cheapest thing we can provide, and I hope it's effective. So.
it is, Judge. We appreciate it.
Okay. All right, I'd make a motion, we accept that report for recording
Second.
purposes. I'd have a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Thank you, Judge.
I'll be excused. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to go to item D10 and call on Anna.
D10. There it is.
D.
Yep.
Morning, Anna.
Good morning, everyone. So here, I'll just highlight a couple of things that I think are very worth mentioning. Two pieces of activity we saw kind of peak here during our last quarter were hires in the month of September. That was the month of September saw 34 hires onboarded, and that's been the highest monthly amount of hires in the past year. And so wanted to highlight that. I think that's going towards a good trajectory. Our turnover rate is continued to end this year at a rate lower than the previous 2 years, which was our goal. And we see our hires are increasing, and then our separations kind of lowered. So that means we saw gains in positions filled. And so I highlighted that as well, the amount of positions that we have vacant right now. At the beginning of this calendar year, January, we started at 84, and now we're down to 61, and that includes all of the new positions that the court added as well. So we're doing a lot of work with onboarding, bringing people on. John highlighted our help desk ticket use. That is the help desk ticket use that he was referencing. It's bringing people on. That creates a ticket every time. We have to set them up with training, online training. Both his office does that and our office does that. And so we hope that trend continues, and so we can keep tackling that 61 vacancies. We took extra care to be really, to post positions with the newly approved budgets as quickly as they were approved. So as soon as court approved the budget for fiscal year '25, HR, and David Thompson, our recruiter, was already had drafts of postings ready to go with the new higher salaries, to be sure we catch as many applicants as possible off of those increases. So I wanted to highlight that. The other item I wanted to highlight that we saw increase and saw a peak in is the wellness webinars. We had our highest participation numbers also in the month of September, with 122 employees attending the Coping with Anxiety webinar hosted by United Healthcare and coordinated with Stacy, our benefits manager. And so that's 11% of our workforce. And this is actually the second time HR hosts this exact webinar, the Coping with Anxiety. And the first time around, we also saw a spike in participation in that. And so we're seeing that is a hot topic for our employees. So we're going to be pushing out communications, reiterating all the mental health resources that we already have in place for employees, whether that be through United Healthcare or our employee assistance program at Deer Oaks, which is kind of that short-term immediate access that they have at their fingertips if they need it. And then, of course, our longer-term provider care through their benefits, their insurance. So we'll be trying to emphasize that in this coming quarter, especially bumping up against the holidays. So we'll see that. And then I think those were the main things I wanted to
Do you have any numbers on Deer Oaks in here?
I don't have it in here. I presented it. We just renewed
Right.
with Deer Oaks, and I presented it in there, and I can shoot that to you in
That'd be great.
in an email.
What was the question, Commissioner?
Deer Oaks, our employee assistance program.
Okay. Yeah. The health fair was a big success, it looked like, large number. You probably don't have numbers yet from.
It was almost 600. Yes, I was like, I don't know if I put that in here. We were just trying to tabulate everything for open enrollment.
Sure.
This past week when we had
Sure.
this report due, so I was like, I'll save that fund for December
Okay, that's fine.
report. But yes, it was
large
almost
crowd,
600.
Large crowd.
I think what was neat to see during the expo wasn't necessarily the volume of employees come in, but we noticed this year the duration of their attendance was a lot longer. Like they were walking around, talking, having longer conversations with vendors and taking advantage of the screenings, and which is great. We really want them to be able to take advantage of all that while they can.
Okay, any questions on honors report? All right, is there a motion to approve it for recording purposes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Thank
I'd like to
you.
go to item G1, while Anna's here, on a HR request, so Anna?
Okay.
Yes, I have here requests from Road and Bridge Precinct 2. They're requesting to reclassify their crew member position 1629. just to give history of the position, this is a non-CDL position that was reclassified from a equipment operator position with the intent to bring someone on to train them in the road and bridge operations, and then have them earn or attain their CDL to then be a truck driver or equipment operator. And so that's kind of come full circle, that the person in that position has attained their CDL, and so that's what's prompting the request. They now want to make that a heavy truck driver position with a person that already holds that CDL. And HR is recommending the title of heavy truck driver. The current budget is $43,134, and then we would recommend the budget that is in line with the heavy truck driver title, which is $56,518.
All right, any questions on that?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you. Under D12, if I hadn't skipped one, D12 is report from Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension. There's a report in there if you have any questions. On that, we can refer that to Shane. Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve that report for recording purposes.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right, Dustin, you want to pick it up
Sure.
from there?
So under item E1 is our ARPA discussion. We put this on in case anybody wanted to discuss anything today. I will say that we'll have an update from John Irwin Construction next Tuesday, a budget update. They've got the first round of bid packages out, and we'll anticipate to have that interim GMP back on December 3rd. And early indications show there'll be more than an ample amount to cover, whatever we want to put towards that $5 million in ARPA that we reduced with the Tyler Technologies to be able to put towards ARPA on the project. So appears those will far exceed that number we were shooting for. So anybody else have anything today?
Now, okay, we took from downtown jail to Tyler.
Right.
1.854.
Yes, sir.
And we decreased the downtown jail. Where does that show up on?
So
is there a downtown jail line?
There is, yes, sir. So it would show, there's the 5 million, it's around column.
Oh, there it is, DTJ.
And that's where we were looking at the HVAC and then like the expanded lobby.
So you've got 3.1 million in there for that.
Yes, sir. And I
Left
think
for that.
we would be able to, earlier.
You should be able to eat that up pretty easy, right?
I think so, and I think we
In
could-
time?
Yes, sir. So that, we're doing the interim guaranteed maximum price on this first phase, which is, it's a little bit more demolition work. It's like make safe work inside the building. Plus, it's gonna pick up the HVAC equipment, the steel procurement for the expanded lobby. And so a lot of that's gonna fit and be directly.
So
ARPA
it can be bid in place by the end of
Yes, so
December?
Irwin has it out on the streets right now.
Okay.
We should get it
Yeah, we're shooting for December 3rd. And Ken and TJ Zane and I met with them last week, and they still feel very good about that December 3rd date, so.
And then at the end of the spreadsheet, you have, there's still amount that's unobligated?
That's right. So this spreadsheet's a few weeks old, but it's around 400,000. And then want to also say Patton Branch low water crossing is not going to. That's one that switched from a $350,000 project to close to $1 million project, and the timing just does not appear to. And I'm looking at Ken to confirm, but it doesn't look like the timing is going to work out on that one. So there's 350,000 there. But we're also looking at, is it Old Bruceville or South Bruceville, Commissioner Smith?
Old South Bruceville
Old
Road.
South Bruceville Road that may fit there. So, and it's a similar, it's maybe a $400,000 to $500,000 project. So we're still going to end up, with around 400,000 or so. That could shift to the downtown jail. It could shift to other projects. Like we've mentioned before, some of the nonprofits, those requests. And then we're waiting to see where the bids come in on the big HVAC project, the 5 million that we have in there. TJ's still feeling pretty comfortable. We had plugged in 4.5 million for that. He thinks it's gonna come in right at that number, but, you know, we'll have firm numbers on that coming up soon as well, so.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, is there a motion to approve Dustin's report?
So move. Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
And then F1, the recognition of Chuck Galabian, I don't think we took action.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the letter of congratulations to Chuck. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
F2s regarding the McLennan Central Appraisal District 2025 Board of Directors, authorizations regarding board member selections and related resolution ballot. We have 808 allowable votes. Went and looked at what we did last year. We had 822 last year, and we put all those votes with Commissioner Perry. So I don't know if that would be the recommendation.
That would be my recommendation to, that we pledge all of our votes to Commissioner Ben Perry.
Is that a motion?
Motion, yeah.
Second.
Third.
Okay.
Interesting piece is that our votes are, we're not getting the,
We went down.
yeah.
You doing what?
We went from 822 to 808.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's some other taxing entities that are growing pretty good every day.
yeah.
That's right.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
F3 is authorization of structured cabling quote with Extraco Technology for the Archives Office. John?
This is just for the project I mentioned to wire the archives offices for phone and internet. The cost here is $9,220. It is included in the budget capital outlay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
F4 is authorization of revised service agreement with Heart of Texas Behavioral Health Network for mental health deputy service. We approved this agreement back in September due to some state reporting requirements and some numbers target numbers on their end that needed to be adjusted. BHN has submitted a revised agreement, and it's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
All right, any questions? What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
That should be it, Judge.
All right. Mercedes, anything else? Okay. Anything else to come before the court? If not, we stand adjourned.